You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation. I'm here at the park with my son and just doing some coloring right now, honestly, because that's a very therapeutic thing for me to do. And it just kind of like gets me in the zone of tranquility. And last week I was here and there was another mother here with her toddler, and we exchanged numbers, and I think I made a video about this, but we exchanged numbers, and I'm very protective of my energy. So, you know, I texted her later on that day, like saying, hey, it was very nice to meet you, and I'll let you know the next time that I go to the park. And she was here today, and I didn't text her. I didn't text her, and it wasn't even on purpose. It was like I didn't even think to text her. And I feel like she was a little upset. I mean, she was like with her mom anyways. She was with her mother. Last time she was here, she was by herself with her baby. And this time today, she was with her mother. And I felt kind of bad, you know. I was like, shoot, like I should have texted her. But then I also told myself, well, I didn't even like think to text her. Like it didn't even come across my mind, you know. So it's like I'm not gonna apologize for that. And also, like, I don't need to explain myself, like, because I was about to go into like this rant with her, like, hey, oh my gosh, I'm sorry I didn't text you. I'm sorry because I have been really stressed lately. Today was like kind of, I mean, just like the past few days, honestly, you guys, has been pretty like up and down. And I'm just kind of, you know, trying to handle it all with grace and with balance. And so I was going to go into this whole rant with her, you know, like kind of explaining all that. And then it's just like, honestly, I don't need to do that. So I didn't. And, you know, she can think whatever she wants to think. She can think like personally about it, like that it's her problem that I didn't text her. It's not her problem at all. Like, and it wasn't even my problem. It was just kind of like the way that things happened, you know. And I'm trying to look at it like from a positive perspective, like, hey, well, at least me and her got to chit chat for like 5 minutes, because she ended up having to go to put her son down for a nap. So it was like, okay, well, we chit chatted for the time that we did, and that's all there is to it, you know. Like, I don't need to explain anything to her. I don't need to explain anything to anybody. And that's the message for today. It's just like, you don't owe anybody an explanation. Like, people can think whatever they want about you. They can take they can take things personally, all that they want. And really, it's just really, it can be like a form of control sometimes when people do that. But like sometimes it's also just, it's like such a good feeling to just like release it and let it go. And there is, you know, a level of empathy too. And I think that's why like this message is really important to me, because I've been so empathetic like my whole life, just like over explaining myself to others just to like make them feel okay, you know. And I just like overexerted myself to the point of just complete burnout, to the point of complete depression and isolation, to the point of like so much anxiety where like I literally couldn't even live life. I couldn't even hear my own thoughts. Like, and I was being controlled by this narrative of like people pleasing and like making sure that like everybody understands where I'm coming from, so that way I'm not hurting anybody's feelings. And it's just so exhausting, and it's such a distraction, and it's such a motivation killer for like where you're trying to go in life. And another thing too is like, if somebody is meant to be in your life, they're not going to care about like little petty things like this, or they're going to understand naturally, like, you know what, she's probably going through her own stuff right now. Maybe she just wanted some time to herself today at the park. Like, you know, maybe she just didn't even think to text me, and that's fine. Like, you know, like if somebody is meant to be in your life, they're not going to care about these little small incidences. And I know that there are people who like really don't care about, you know, little things like this. Like, but some people do. And sometimes like you can feel the energy where it's just kind of like, okay, like, and that's where an empath really struggles, because we feel other people's energy so intensely, and it's like we can almost read somebody else's mind. It's just a very, it's a very nice gift to have, but we also have to learn the balance of it. We have to learn how to use it in a way that is powerful, but yet, you know, beneficial to us, because it's like we can't deplete ourselves. Like, we're not put on this earth to just constantly be depleted and to constantly give to others. Like, sometimes we need to have a boundary with ourselves, and I think that empaths have a really hard time putting a boundary with themselves and following through with that boundary, because we're just so like sensitive to other people, and we want other people to be happy, and we want other people to, you know, like life. Like, we want other people to really like life. And I think that like whenever somebody is like sad or something or mad, it's like, oh my gosh, what can I do to help you? Like, I can feel your sadness, I can feel your frustration. And then it's like we get everything dumped on us. Anyways, like, if you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. And so I just wanted to share that message, because like I don't need to explain myself anymore to people. I stopped explaining myself to family quite a while ago, just because it's like anything that I was saying was being taken the wrong way, or was like misunderstood, or it was taken personally. And it's like, dude, I'm just like trying to create my own life. Like, I'm just trying to build my own castle over here, and like I can't be around people who take that personally anymore. Like, I just really can't, because it holds me back way too much. Like, it's constantly a distraction, and like I really need to just remove myself completely from all of y'all, because then I wouldn't be getting anywhere, you know. And then they would be looking at me like, oh, how come you haven't done anything with your life? And it's like, because I've been so fucking busy, like trying to think about all of you guys, and trying to like, you know, just like people please all of you guys and trying to like morph myself into this box and into this category of a person that you have all put me in to be. And it's like I need to form my own identity. I need to find my true authentic self. And it's like I know who that is deep down inside, but it's been blocked over and over and over again by layer and layer and layer of people judging me, people having their own narrative of me, people having their own opinion, judgment, and narrative of how I should be living my life, of how I should be raising my children, of like, you know, what kind of woman I should be, what kind of mother I should be, what kind of student I should be, like all of these different things. And it's just like, dude, like honestly, I'm just trying to live my own life, create it the way that I want it to be. That way I can live joyfully and the most authentically. And the only way that I'm ever going to do that is by individualizing myself in isolation. And when I say isolation, I mean it in the most healthiest way. I'm not just saying like go sit in a dark corner of your room and just like cry all day. Like that's not the isolation that I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, praying to God and doing your work, doing your inner healing, constantly journaling, constantly getting your feelings out, using healthy coping mechanisms to deal with your feelings, deal with your problems. Just like working out is a really good outlet for me. Like I just have to just get a nice sweat in so that way I can just like, it's just a really nice release for me. Another thing is like even yoga and stretching. I started yoga maybe like 6 years ago actually. And ever since I started it, it was just like, wow, completely life-changing. And that's a good way to release a lot of trauma, especially if you're a woman. We hold a lot of trauma in our hips. So there's a lot of yoga exercises that release trauma from the hips. So I highly recommend that. I do some yoga stretches, especially hip stretches every morning and every night, and I get the best night's sleep. Lately I haven't really been getting the best night's sleep because I'm 9 months pregnant, so it's just like so uncomfortable sometimes to sleep, and it's like I'm only able to sleep in one position, so it's like but I highly recommend that. Being outside, like lately I've been just wanting to sit outside in nature for like hours and just color. I bring my pencils out to the park, my sketchbook, I bring my journal with me, and I bring snacks and, you know, a book as well, just in case like I feel like reading. And then I also bring like a coloring book for my son as well, just in case he wants to color. So it's just kind of like finding different outlets that work for you, and to be diligent about, first of all, like you have to want it. Like you have to want this change in your life. You have to want to grow, you know, and then you just maintain consistency with it, and then you start seeing results and you're like, wow, holy shit, like this is actually what I have been desiring for a long time, and I didn't even know that this was the way to get it. And so like you don't need to explain anything to anybody. Even if people ask you what you're doing and stuff, like if somebody asks you to go out and you're like, oh no, I can't, like I'm just busy tonight, or like I'm just gonna stay in. You don't have to explain your whole plan for the night of like why you're not gonna go out with them. Like like, you just don't have to do that. And even also, like, when you over explain yourself, you're giving your power away. You know, you're just like simply giving it away, and then like you feel like shit after. Like, after you explain yourself, you're like, why did I even say all of that? Like, every single time I would over explain myself, I'd be like, why did I do that? Like, why did I say all of that? Like, now I just feel like shit. Now I just feel exposed. I feel completely exposed. I feel completely naked in the wind, you know? So, yeah. Another thing is, like, I mentioned this before, but just a reminder that anything that is for you is not going to miss you. Anything that is for you is not going to leave you, okay? Anything that is for you is not going to hurt you. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope that this video finds you well. Like, share, subscribe. Whatever you please. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.